The biggest reason most people fail is because they're too loud about the wrong things and too quiet about their own growth. 2025 is not the year to impress others. It is not the year to explain your moves, defend your decisions, or post every step of your life online. This is the year to go quiet, go deep, and go all in on yourself. You see, too many people are addicted to attention, addicted to opinions, addicted to noise. They think being seen is the same as being successful. It's not. Visibility without value is just vanity. What if I told you that the most powerful version of yourself is built in silence? That when no one is watching, when you're not posting, when you're not seeking validation, that's when your real transformation begins. Focus is not just a mindset. It's a daily decision to say no to everything that isn't moving you forward. And silence is not absence, it is strategy. It's protecting your energy from leaks. It's about understanding that growth makes noise, but only to you. The world hears it later. And when people ask, why are you so quiet now? You'll smile because you know they will understand later. When your life gets louder than your words, stop wasting your energy trying to be understood. Stop seeking applause for progress that hasn't finished yet. Stop letting the noise of the world cancel out the voice inside of you. This is your season to disappear and build. Not disappear and do nothing, but disappear and do everything that matters. Read, train, study, build, work, heal, reflect, grow, and don't post a single thing. Because the real winners in 2025, they're not the ones trending. They're the ones transforming. The world will only know them after it's already too late to catch up. So stay quiet. Stay grounded. Stay focused. And when the time is right, let your results make the loudest noise the world has ever heard. In today's world, noise is everywhere. Everyone has something to say, something to prove, something to post. But let me ask you this. How many of those people actually have something worth listening to? Most of the loudest people are just echoing what others are saying. They aren't thinking. They're reacting. They aren't building. They're performing. And that's why in 2025, the real power is in silence. You need to understand that noise is cheap. Anyone can talk. Anyone can post on social media. Anyone can argue. But silence, that takes strength. Silence takes control. It's easy to shout your goals to the world. It's hard to stay quiet and actually work on them. And that's why silence is not just golden, it's a strategy. When you stay silent, you take away distractions. You remove the unnecessary conversations. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't even understand your vision. You save your energy. And trust me, in 2025, your energy is your currency. The more you waste it on opinions, gossip, debates, or validation, the less you have to invest in yourself, your goals, and your next level. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them assume. You don't owe the world your blueprint. You owe yourself your future. And the best way to build that future is in silence. You don't need to announce your next move. You don't need to explain why you're being quiet. You don't need to clap back at anyone. Just do the work. Show up for yourself. And when it's time, let the results do all the talking. You don't see trees shouting when they grow. You don't hear rivers yelling as they cut through mountains. But they are powerful forces of nature, consistent, determined, and silent. That's who you need to become. Unshakable in your focus. Unstoppable in your growth. Unbothered by the noise around you. Too many people confuse noise with progress. But loud doesn't mean successful. In fact, the most dangerous, most effective, most successful people are usually the quietest ones. Why? Because they know they don't need to announce anything. They don't need to seek attention. They're too busy building. too busy becoming. And when they show up, the world listens because their silence has already done the work. So if you're being quiet right now, good. If you're focusing on yourself, better. If no one knows what you're doing, best. That's how you win in 2025. Not by being loud, not by being flashy, but by being so deeply committed to your growth that noise becomes irrelevant and silence becomes your signature. Let everyone else keep talking. You keep building. Stay silent. Stay strategic. And when the world finally sees what you've been creating, they'll understand why you never said a word. Self-focus is not selfish, it's survival. In a world where everything is trying to pull you in 1,000 directions at once, the one who wins is the one who can center themselves. In 2025, there is simply too much noise, too much competition, too much comparison. If you don't learn to focus on yourself, you will spend your life chasing other people's dreams, walking other people's paths, and never becoming who you were truly meant to be. Focusing on yourself isn't about cutting people off or becoming cold. It's about finally choosing to put your energy where it matters on your health, your vision, your future. It's recognizing that no one else is going to save you. No one else is going to carry your dreams across the finish line. No one else can understand your inner calling better than you. And if you keep trying to be everything to everyone, you'll end up being nothing to yourself. In 2025, distractions wear 1,000 faces. They look like trends. They look like scrolling. They look like the urge to prove yourself to strangers. And all of that noise, it slowly chips away at your direction. One moment of comparing yourself to someone else's timeline can steal a whole day of your momentum. One comment, one doubt, one little voice from someone who doesn't even know your struggle can throw off your entire mindset. That's why self-focus is not optional anymore, it's survival. If you're not rooted in who you are and what you want, you'll get swept away in what everyone else is doing. When you focus on yourself, the world calls you selfish. But the truth is, the world benefits the most when you become your best self. You want to help others? Start by helping yourself. You want to lift others? Start by rising first. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't build anything real while you're distracted by everyone else's opinions. This year, don't chase popularity. Chase purpose. Don't chase likes, chase legacy. You don't need everyone to clap for you right now. You just need to show up for yourself again and again, every single day. Because while others are distracted by trends, you'll be setting foundations. While others are chasing applause, you'll be creating impact. While others are looking for shortcuts, you'll be building something that lasts. And yes, focusing on yourself might make you lonely. It might make you misunderstood. But that's the price of elevation. That's the tax on growth. Because the higher you go, the more you have to protect your energy, your time, and your mind. That's not selfish, that's smart. In the end, those who had the courage to focus on themselves will be the ones standing strongest. Not because they had the easiest path, but because they were willing to walk it alone when necessary. Every time you open your mouth to explain yourself, every time you try to prove something to people who don't even matter, you lose power. You give away your energy to conversations that don't build you. And in 2025, that's the most dangerous thing you can do. Leak your energy where it's not respected or needed. That's why silence is no longer just a personal choice. It's a form of protection. It's how you guard your growth, your focus, and your peace. Too many people live on defense, always responding, always reacting, always justifying. But silence shifts the game. It puts you back on offense. You're not explaining anymore, you're executing. You're not proving anymore, you're producing. You stop letting the world pull you into arguments that drain you and instead pull yourself into progress that defines you. Because here's the truth, not everyone deserves a response. And not everything needs your voice. We've been taught to speak up, to stand our ground, to defend our truth. But what if real strength is knowing when to say nothing? Not because you're afraid, but because you're focused. When you're silent, you're not passive. You're not weak. You're building. You're watching. You're listening. And in those quiet moments, you're doing something most people are too distracted to do: evolve. In 2025, attention is a currency and energy is a resource. Every comment, every clapback, every argument takes something from you. And those little moments add up. They take your focus off your goals. They drain your mental battery. They cost you hours you'll never get back. That's why silence is your protection. It keeps you grounded when everything around you is spinning. It keeps you centered when people try to pull you off course. You don't have to explain your vision to people who weren't given your dream. You don't need to convince anyone why you're moving the way you're moving. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. Let them wonder. The more they guess, the more you grow. Because while they're busy talking about you, you're busy working on you. And eventually, the results will show. The silence will make sense. The discipline will pay off. The focus will become obvious. Because silence is not the absence of words, it's the presence of intention. It means you've chosen purpose over noise. It means you'd rather build in peace than broadcast for attention. So protect your energy like your life depends on it, because in 2025 it does. Every drop of focus matters. Every ounce of peace matters. Let silence be your shield. Let growth be your reply. Let progress be your voice. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You just have to be real, consistent, and relentless. And the world will hear you without you ever saying a word. Building in silence is one of the most underestimated forces in the world. In 2025, if you're not silently working while everyone else is watching, posting, and performing, you're falling behind. The truth is, real growth doesn't happen under the spotlight. It happens behind closed doors. When no one is clapping, when no one is watching, when no one even knows you're grinding. That's where transformation begins. That's where champions are built. The loudest person in the room is usually the one who's compensating. They're talking, not walking. They're selling a story, not living one. Meanwhile, the quiet ones, they're too busy doing the work. They don't need to announce their every move because they understand something: powerful results speak. And when results speak, the world listens. You see, when you're building something truly meaningful, something that will last, you don't have time to chase attention. You're locked in. You're in the lab, in the gym, in the silence of your own mind, working through the pain, the doubt, the discipline. And when it's finally ready, when your foundation is solid, your vision is clear, and your momentum is unstoppable, that's when the world sees you. Not because you talked about it, but because your success became undeniable. In 2025, the game has changed. Flash doesn't last. Hype fades. But value, real value, always rises to the top. And value is built in silence. It's built when you study while others scroll. It's built when you train while others talk. It's built when you prepare in darkness so that when the lights finally come on, you're already ready. It's hard, I know. It's hard to be quiet while others are shining. It's hard to stay down when your ego wants to be seen. But here's the truth: those who shine too early often burn out fast. And those who build quietly often stay on top the longest, because they didn't chase the moment, they prepared for the future. Silence is where you develop your skills, your mindset, your resilience. It's where you learn to trust yourself. It's where you learn to win without validation. When you build in silence, your confidence becomes unshakable, because it's not built on attention. It's built on repetition, effort, and results. People will doubt you. They'll assume you've stopped. They'll whisper that you're not making moves. But let them. That's the power of silence. It creates space for surprise. It turns your progress into a punchline. It gives you the ultimate advantage, invisibility, while you sharpen your edge. And then, when it's time when the foundation is unbreakable and the vision is real, you won't need to say a word. Your presence will speak. Your success will echo. And all those days you stayed quiet, stayed down, stayed focused, they'll be the reason you rise. Not loud, but legendary. Your focus will offend the unfocused. That's a reality no one wants to admit. The moment you decide to cut off distractions, isolate yourself, and commit fully to your goals, people will notice. And they won't always respond with support. They'll respond with confusion, judgment, even criticism. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your focus is exposing their lack of it. When you start changing, it reminds people that they're not. When you start saying no to meaningless conversations, no to parties, no to wasting time, it makes others uncomfortable. They'll say, "You've changed," as if it's a bad thing. Yes, you've changed, and that's the point. Growth requires change. Evolution requires discomfort. If you're not offending some people with your dedication, you're probably still playing small. In 2025, the people who are winning are the ones who've mastered isolation. Not in the sense of loneliness, but in the sense of intentional separation from what doesn't align with their purpose. And when you live like that, when you wake up every day with tunnel vision on your future, it threatens those who are still living on autopilot. That's why people will try to pull you back. Not because they hate you, but because your focus makes them feel exposed. It reminds them that they could be doing more, but they're not. And that's okay. Let them feel whatever they feel. It's not your job to shrink so others can feel comfortable. It's not your duty to slow down so others don't feel left behind. Your focus is not arrogance, it's responsibility. It's what happens when you stop living for approval and start living for your purpose. And the truth is, not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people were only meant to walk with you during a distracted version of your life. The focused version, that version travels light. So, yes, your silence will be misread. Your distance will be questioned. Your absence from drama, from noise, from circles that once defined you, it will make people talk. Let them. The more they talk, the more you know you're on the right path. Because the people truly building, truly growing, truly focused, they're not watching you. They're too busy working on themselves, just like you. The path to becoming something great is narrow. It doesn't have space for constant opinions, endless validation, or surface-level connections. It demands isolation, discipline, and unshakable focus. And it requires being okay with being misunderstood. So let them question you. Let them doubt you. Let your focus offend whoever it needs to. At the end of the day, you're not building for their approval. You're building for your legacy. And one day, those same people who couldn't understand your silence will be clapping for your success. Not because you explained it, but because your results made it impossible to ignore. So here's the truth you need to carry with you from this moment forward. Focus is not a trend, and silence is not weakness. In 2025, they're your greatest weapons. The loud ones will keep chasing attention. The distracted ones will keep running in circles. But you will be the one who stayed grounded, who stayed quiet, who stayed hungry. You don't need the world to understand you right now. You don't need the applause, the validation, or the spotlight. All you need is that fire in your gut and the discipline to protect it. While others are broadcasting, you'll be building. While others are proving, you'll be producing. And when the dust settles, when the noise fades, and when the distractions have drained everyone else, you'll still be standing. Focused, clear, unstoppable. The silence you embrace today will echo as strength tomorrow. The isolation you choose now will turn into impact later. So protect your vision like it's your life because it is. Stay silent. Stay locked in. Let your results speak so loudly that the world won't remember the silence, only the roar of your success.